Hello, I'm Dr. Trent Burrup, founder of the Institute of Chiropractic and Acupuncture Therapy. And the topic of this video is muscle testing or applied kinesiology. In the few minutes that I've got here, what I wanted to do was just basically explain what muscle testing is and how we can use it in the clinic to help gain a more functional diagnosis as to what's going on with somebody. Muscle testing has been around for years. It was originally developed in the 60s by Dr. George Goodhart, and today it's used by lots of different doctors as a functional diagnosis tool. We use it in conjunction with x-rays, blood work, other kinds of examinations to get a functional diagnosis as to what's out of balance in the body. The way it works, it's basically just a nerve reflex test, kind of like a knee-jerk test. You've had a doctor hit your knee with a reflex hammer and the leg kicks or doesn't kick or kicks and spasms, but how that muscle responds with that reflex doesn't tell us anything about the knee. Those reflexes tell us basically how the brain and how the spinal cord are functioning. And applied kinesiology is the same kind of nerve testing. It's just instead of knee-jerk testing, we use strength testing. So with Natalie, what we're going to do as a demonstration is a basic muscle test. I like using the shoulder because it's just easier to test than the leg. We could test any muscle in the body. But if we're going to test her shoulder, we'll have her put her arm out, keep her elbow straight, then I'm going to push down while she resists and pushes up. And we're just going to see how responsive her muscle is. So hold strong for me. Hold tight, tight, tight. Hold tight, hold tight. Good. And I can lean on her with a pretty fair amount of force and she's able to hold her arm up. One of the things muscle testing is it's not an attempt to see how much force it takes to overpower the person. All we're really doing is checking to see, is the muscle responsive? Whether I push a little bit or I push a lot, does her muscle actually push back? And it does. She has a good, strong muscle. Now, if we're going to go in and do some testing, we can actually utilize some of these nerve reflexes to find out where there are imbalances in the body. Now, Natalie, she likes hiking. She's been out hiking a bunch recently, and a couple of weeks ago, she tweaked one of her knees, and so we've been working on them. She's actually feeling pretty good now, but we're gonna just test her knee and see how her knee is doing at this point. So she's gonna reach down and touch over her knee where she's had some of the problems, and we're just gonna redo the strength test and see if that changes. So hold strong for me, don't let me push down. And now, hold tight. And now when she touches her knee, she's not able to hold her arm up. Now, if we want to check and see if there are other places, reach up and touch in your neck. Hold strong for me. That stays pretty solid, indicating there's not a problem in the neck. When she touches over her knee, she starts to stimulate nerves and neurons that perhaps are sensing pain or are overactive. And what happens is there's a lot of neurology and electrical things that happen in the nervous system that trigger that strong muscle to become weak. When she touches her neck, we don't see that reaction because she doesn't have any problems in her neck right now. Having her muscle go weak with the knee doesn't tell me what the problem is. It's just her body saying something's not very happy here. As the physician, it now becomes my job to try and figure out what is it we need to do, whether it's a chiropractic adjustment or acupuncture or physical therapy or any number of treatments. So we're going to adjust her knee and see if that changes it. Go ahead and lay on your back. Good, and bring this up. And go ahead and touch down in the knee. Hold strong for me, don't let me push down. And now that muscle's holding a lot stronger, indicating that something is different. From a nerve standpoint, what her body is saying is something's changed here. And the fact that it's stronger tells me that we've made an improvement. Now at this point, she might feel better and she might not. I mean, if somebody comes in and they've got a lot of inflammation, they may not feel a lot better, but both Natalie and I know that something has changed in the knee, and we know if we did the right therapies. If her muscle was still weak, we know that wasn't the right therapy to do. We need to do something else to make sure that it's fixed. I love muscle testing as a physician because it helps me to really go in and check and see where is the problem really coming from. Because a lot of times people will come in and they're having pain in a particular area, but the pain is not where the problem is, and the body will tell us that. It also tells me when we're done, did we actually do something to help, or did we just waste a bunch of time? Really, if I'm using muscle testing properly as a physician and I understand how the nerves are connected, it is such a great way for the body to communicate with us and tell us where the problem is and if we fixed it. It's a fantastic technique when it's used properly. If you look for a physician to go and do muscle testing with, make sure you find someone who's been trained properly and understands all of those connections and has received the proper certifications, because it can be an awesome technique at really helping us get to the root cause of the problem, and it really increases our success rate in helping people get better.